Happy Friday, guys.
Jinx.
I know. Hey, great minds think alike.
Jinx, bro. Happy Friday, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today.
And I
What's
feel
today?
like,
Is today the good, bad, and the ugly?
oh yeah. Sorry, I feel like my face is washed out. Look at that.
Dang.
Man, it's bothering me right now.
Did anybody start that GoFundMe account for Joseph?
Bro, I always have to switch it up depending on what laptop I'm using. Hey, but you know what? Ever since my laptop updated on Zoom, I haven't had any computer screen issues.
What?
Dude, it's a miracle. It's a miracle.
Wow.
Who knows? Who knows how long that will keep up? But
Yeah, I was about to say, prove it.
oh man, I see Steven in the chat, Martha, Michelle. Happy Friday, guys!
Happy Friday.
Super happy to be here, guys. It's been another
Happy Friday,
eventful
guys.
week. I feel like every week is eventful.
It is. It is. Good, bad, and the ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. The
Hey,
good.
we wanted to let you guys know that we're going to, from now on, this will be the first one that we're going to start keeping these a little bit shorter instead of going the full hour for these. We're going to keep them to a concise 30 minutes. We're going to make sure that you still get all the same information. We're just going to be a little bit quicker about the delivery of it. So just wanted to make that announcement moving forward. That way you guys know what to expect as well. So we've got undivided attention for you guys to go over what we went through this week. So, as always, let's look at the calendar. Oh man, every time I look at Monday, it's just full. Every time. Let's see. We met with a deal that it's a smaller property, but there is a lot of potential for multiple properties. I know this guy is selling a portfolio, so we're definitely excited about that, and we're entertaining the idea of getting the smaller property just to kind of open the door for the rest of them. So stay tuned as that develops. Definitely excited to see how it unfolds.
What's up, John?
The rest of it is mostly meetings for that day. I know I sat down and did a bunch of underwriting that day too. Let's move on to Tuesday. Same thing, man. Lots of meetings. So. It's just every week. It's the same thing every week, guys.
I
Just
know.
a whole bunch of meetings. I had a really cool one on Wednesday. We met with another guy named. I don't know. Should we release the name or keep it a surprise for our future guest speaker?
Let's keep it a surprise.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
So we met with this dude. If Jaden is watching, Jaden knows who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the connection. He suggested we reach out to this guy. I had never heard of him before, but we did, and very, very humble person. Very genuine. Has a very similar story to us, with the exception that he worked with Grant Cardone's team.
Mm-hmm.
So that was different, but we have a very similar story about everything else that we're doing. He's also in the educational space, and I'm super excited to have him on. So stay tuned for that. We'll make that announcement when the time comes. I think we're going to finish off the series we're currently doing and then invite him on to take part in what we're doing. So stay tuned, guys. That one's going to be cool. That one's going to be really cool.
Definitely.
Let me see. It's funny because I started off the meeting with him like, hey, man, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know anything about you. I'm only reaching out because I was told that we would be a good connection for each other. So, what's up, man? It's a pleasure to meet you. And, it's a great conversation.
Exactly.
But that's just an example of just transparency. Hey, man, I don't know anything about you, but what's up? It's not typically how you start conversations, but it worked. And we got our property management agreement back for the property we're under contract with. That took a little while, but finally got that back, and we're proceeding on the process with that. So definitely excited that it's moving along. We're not at a standstill. Things are progressing. Again, we'll tell you more about that once it's actually closed. We don't want to, jinx anything or put out any information that we're not supposed to put out yet. So I hope you guys can understand with that.
That's the juicy stuff, by the way, guys. Once we do bring it out, you guys will be like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, that'll be a good one. A good
Yeah.
case study to do for sure.
Mhm.
Um, we've been working on some single family stuff this week. That's honestly what took up a lot of our time this week. So, I won't go too into that, but we've got a really nice property out here in Conroe. It's got a private lake. It's not a massive lake, but it is a private lake that's pretty solid. If you follow KJ on Instagram, then you definitely saw a little sneak peek of it. So that's exciting. Let's see. Man, even when KJ is not working, bro, she's crushing it.
Definitely.
she's always bringing home the bacon.
Always.
Meeting different people, people reaching out to her just from social media. People be like, "Oh, hey, I've got this deal. I heard you guys were looking, or I heard you guys were looking for a house to live in." Deals are it's raining deals on our end. We just need to keep up with them and make sure that we're proceeding on the ones that make sense, and the ones that don't, we move on from. On Thursday, one of our very own, I see him in the chat, Max, set up a fire call with, I believe it was Obi Insurance. So we sat down with Obi Insurance, and it was a really good call. Got some very, very new information to me. One of the things I found surprising was that he said I kind of knew this. He said for coastal areas, the insurance in these coastal areas was upwards of 1,400 to 1,600. What I didn't know is
Dang.
that also included Houston as part of some of these coastal areas.
Dang.
So that was definitely news to me, that we can expect to see, especially in the flood zone areas, 14 to 1,600 per unit in insurance. That's
Dang. That's crazy, bro. I mean, just what, a couple months ago, we were underwriting at what, 500
yeah,
maybe?
yeah. I'd never even had to pass 800.
Whew.
And
So,
then on the
what?
other side of the scale, he said that there's some markets like in Arizona where they're still in the twos, 2 to 3s. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. So I guess if you guys are underwriting some properties in like coastal areas, maybe like in Florida or I don't know, whatever market he said, Joseph, you need to consider the insurance. That's one heck of an expense you've got there if you're doing at 1,600 a unit.
Yeah,
Wow.
think about it. Even if we were at 500, whatever the number was at 500, you now need to more than 3x it. And that's going to be a lot. Like, imagine if it was 100K. Now you're at 320K, whatever it is. You know what I mean? That's a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if your NOI is only like 800,000. Now you just drop that 200,000. You're at 600,000. That's a drastic difference. That will totally change the game, and it's a big factor in why a lot of offers, and this is another thing our team member has been. This one was actually Christy that said this, and we got confirmation from different sources. But the average deal that we're underwriting, and this is like most of the deals, Some of them are even worse than this, but most of them are 25 to 30% under the asking price. That's where we're coming in at. So for the norm is that's pretty big dip in pricing, and
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of that has to do with insurance
Mm-hmm.
and interest rates. So
Yeah. So those of you who are underwriting deals and you're like, man, these deals don't make sense. Any of these deals that come through my desk, they don't make any sense. Yeah, we're seeing it too. Everybody is seeing it across the board. So it's probably not you. It's probably the deal.
yeah, yeah, and the reason Oscar says that is because me and Ione, we were thinking it was us the whole time. It's like,
Hmm.
especially in the beginning, it's like, do we even know what we're doing? Or that was the feeling, is that we just saw so many deals that weren't working. It's like, are we doing something wrong? So, for those of y'all out there that are just like Oscar said, underwriting a bunch of them, don't get discouraged because it's probably not you. If they're still, if they're in that range, 25% or 30% under the value, even 50%. There was a few that we were doing at 50%. So it's crazy. What a time to buy deals. Actually, you know what's funny? A little story. I was talking to somebody on the phone the other day. I can't remember what it was, but it was something personal. And the lady, she was talking to me, and she was like, "Oh yeah, the market right now is just so bad for interest and insurance and all this stuff," and talking about the banks. And I can tell she really didn't like know what she was talking about. She was just kind of making small talk. But the fun, what she said that was super funny was, she said, and right now, oh my gosh, right now is the worst time to buy property. I would never buy property right now. And all I'm thinking is like, great. I hope everybody else is thinking this right now, because I'm gonna come in with some creative finance and just buy up all these deals. But I didn't tell her any of that, because it was just not the right conversation. But
Yeah,
it was funny to hear a different perspective than ours.
that's amazing. And that's most people. I would say like regular normal people probably just watching the news, soaking it all in, thinking that, now's not the time to buy. I
Yeah,
know.
she got all
Crazy.
that information. She said from CBS. I don't even know what the news channel
Watching the
is,
news.
bro.
Yep.
Yeah, she definitely said it was the news channel. I don't
Yep.
remember which one though. Funny stuff.
Yeah.
Well, what else? What else you got for us, Oscar?
Man, I think that's it. I mean, I really want to go through some of the stuff that we're actually working on the deal, but we're going to save that for a little bit later. Probably soon because I think we're close to us solidifying everything and making sure that we can go through with it. So it'll probably be soon, guys, but I really want to go through some of that stuff, especially for the VIPs. I've got some really good stuff cooking just on that deal itself. And then some of the underwriting that goes with it when you're closing a deal. So, yeah, there's a lot of things in store for the moment. I don't have much of anything. I think you covered most of it. Yeah, I don't know that I have much anything else to cover for this week aside that meetings after meetings after meetings. And
Yeah, nonstop.
yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, some of the stuff that we go through, Joseph and I, we talk to direct to sellers or we talk to brokers, we just have conversations. And actually, yesterday I had a call with a broker in Dallas, and this surprised me, bro. There was on the financials on the T12 in Dallas, there was a little line item that said insurance, and underneath it, it said flood insurance, and I was like, "What?" I looked at it like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, "We don't have flood zones in Dallas." And we asked the broker, and I think part of the actual building is in a flood zone, which is kind of weird. It's in Dallas, and you would never think of it. It's unusual to see that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and so I thought that was a kicker. I'm like, oh, well, good to know. But anyway, I was looking at that property, and it's a bridge loan that's coming due. They bought it 3 years ago, and they're asking way too much. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna exit this property. I really think that they need to like obviously they need to be a lot lower than that they are because you have to go and get new debt for this property. There's no assumption, nothing like that. So it's gonna be one of those deals that I think it's gonna be in trouble if they don't sell or if they don't come back down to planet Earth and actually make it where it makes sense because we were almost 50% off of what they were asking.
Yeah.
And that's assuming that the debt quotes that we received were still valid and they don't change because the Fed had announced that they were going to do some stuff here. And so it probably changed now. I don't think those debt quotes are the same. They probably went up.
What was the interest rate on it?
I think it was a six percent, and that
Yeah.
was agency.
Most recent one I saw was 6.15.
Mm.
That was like earlier this week.
Yeah, that one was from the beginning of this month. So yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on it because it's in Dallas and I know the location very well and I would love a property in Dallas. So I'm gonna keep following up with it.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to get some property in Dallas. So I have another reason to go up there more often because you're always coming down to Houston, bro. I need to
Mhm.
be going up to Dallas.
I know.
I blame it on the dogs. If I didn't have 3 dogs, I would probably be traveling a lot more.
Well, I probably I'll still be going down to Houston, but I'll probably dread going down to Houston as summer comes along because man, you guys' summers are brutal, man.
Yeah, it's definitely not for the faint of heart, I should say.
Well, I mean, like, okay, Dallas is brutal too, but like Houston is a different type of brutal. It's like you step outside and like within a minute, bro, you're already sweating because it's so humid out in Houston, bro. It's
Hmm.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
that day we walked like I don't know how many properties. I just remember feeling so nasty because it was so humid outside. It was bad, man. I was like, yeah, this is why I love Houston, but I don't love Houston. I don't like the summers here, man. They're brutal.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. There's some pretty rough ones. After a while, I mean, you get used to just living in the hot box. But there's some rough ones. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Sometimes it's just gross. It feels like a wet, sticky blanket just on you. Yeah, it's Steven said it's like me, Miami, and yeah, it definitely is. It's very similar, very
Mhm.
similar. But I mean, like I said, you get used to it when you're living out here. It's kind of just, oh, it's just another Houston day. The
Yeah.
worst is when it's super like warm and thick, and it's not sunny, and it's just like really cloudy, and it had just rained. Oh, that's the worst, man, because all the mosquitoes are coming out too. Oh, it's rough.
Mm.
That's not my favorite for sure. That's why we ended up moving. But I don't live in Houston now. I live in Conroe. It's a lot better. I mean, just the whatever amount of mile, like I think I'm 60 miles, 70 miles away from my previous house over in the Richmond Rosenberg area, and just that alone, huge difference. It's so much better in the air quality and just everything about the air and the weather, and it's so close. We're not even that far away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just making that little change.
Exactly.
But
But yeah.
I
Yeah.
see KJ said, let's do a meetup. I would
Oh,
love to do a meetup. That'd be awesome. I'm so down. All I want is for Sailor to get a little bit older, and I'm totally down. Like a few weeks from now, I'm down. So I don't know. Should we do Houston or Dallas first?
both, bro. At the same time.
Both at the same time? I don't know how well that would work out.
No, I mean, I think it'd be better if we did one in Houston first, just because we have a property down there,
Yeah, that's true.
and then right after that, shortly after, we can do one in Houston, since most of most of the partners live in Dallas, in the Dallas area.
Yeah. Look, Kay just said, hang on, I'll pull it up. She said, I made friends with the realtor. This is true. I heard her on the phone, I think yesterday. And she said, who said it? She will host with us in Houston and bake yummy treats for us.
Dang.
Who doesn't want yummy treats?
It's been decided. Houston.
There you go. Done deal.
You had me at yummy treats.
Yeah, I mean, the way that they were talking yesterday sounded pretty good, honestly. So she had me at that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Is there anything else that you want to cover, Oscar, and make sure that we address before we do announcements or anything?
I do want to address this. I'm going to go right into it, Joseph.
Okay, let's do it.
If you guys aren't registered for the 12 p.m. Central Standard Time Zoom that we do every Friday, today we're doing part 5. What's the title for part 5, Joseph?
I titled it, you ready for this? Drum roll. The LOI. That's why I titled it.
Okay, today we're going over part 5, the LOI.
You gotta say it like I did, man. The LOI.
Oh man. Okay, so we're going through the LOI, right?
There we go.
Today at 12 p.m. This is part 5 of the series, guys. We've done 1 through 4, and then today's the 5th part, and it's not done yet. And we're still going to keep going after that. And every single one of them has been fire. And Joseph is the one running the show today, so he put some slides together for you guys. But don't miss out. If you haven't registered, the link is at the bottom. It's zoom.milliondollarupside.com. And guys, it's amazing. It shows you everything that we do from acquisition to closing. Joseph, what's that one example you always use when we started a multifamily? We would ask people, how do you do it? What would they tell us?
We would always ask the question, it's like, what do we do? Like, we're ready to take action. We just need direction. What do we do? Where do we go do it? How do we do it? And everything that everybody would always tell us is, yeah, just go find a deal. Just go find a deal. Once you find a deal, I'll help you. Just go get a deal, and then let's do it. Just go get a deal. The question was, how do I get a deal? Like, where do I start? Where do I go? What things should I be putting my time into to maximize my efforts in finding a deal? That's what I'm asking. Like, oh yeah, just go find a deal. I mean, it sounds so funny when we say it right now, but that's literally the answer everybody would always tell us, is just go find a deal.
So in other words, we got tired of people just telling us go find the deal. And so we put this series on for you guys to let you know what it takes step by step to get from from acquisition all the way to closing using our business model. That way you guys have an idea of what you can expect and also have a roadmap to follow just to go through the whole process, right? There's a lot of things in detail and a lot of things that go in there in between. We can get into a bunch of rabbit holes, but it'll give you an idea of what you need to do in order to see the whole process. So that's why we're doing this, guys. So part 5 is today. Again, if you haven't registered, the link is at the bottom of your screen. And Joseph put on some slides today, so he's going to run the show and he's going to show us everything about, what is it? The LOI.
The LOI. I even got a couple of examples for you guys. So if you've never seen one, then this is definitely one you want to be a part of.
Yeah. And then I think most of you guys are on YouTube, but if you're not, this is where all the action happens. Everyone in the YouTube channel that's watching there is in the chat right now. So if you're on Facebook watching us there, nothing wrong with it. It's just that everybody in most of the chat is happening on YouTube. So that's where you would want to network with people. And, just if you haven't followed us, follow us as well and subscribe. That way you don't miss out on any deals, any videos that we do. Also deals. You might find a deal in the chat.
And yeah, I see one guy right now that does have some deals that I know has some deals that I've talked to.
Exactly. There's a lot of people in the chat that you would never think are like silent assassins, but they're hanging out in there. They're watching. And then the last one is, if you're not part of the Facebook group, That's where we announce everything when it comes to the Zoom Vault that we announced last week. Joseph made a post on all the replays that you can have access to for free. So that includes all of the series that we're doing right now, from part 1 all the way up to the latest that we did, part 4. They're all in there for you guys to watch. And then anything going forward, we'll also put it in there so you guys will have access to that. And that's in the Facebook group. So it's Multifamily, the $1 Million Upside. Join the group, and you'll find in the featured tab where and how you can join and have access to that specific platform for all the replays. And
Sweet.
last but not least, Joseph and I are just happy to be here.
I love it. That's my favorite banner now. That one and the disclaimer. Or the one, it depends on the underwriting. I love that one.
Here, guys, bro.
Oh, there you go. That's the answer to everything, guys.
Yeah.
Right there.
We have people asking us like, hey, what is it? What's it going to look like if we do this, if we do that? And then Joseph will always bust out this.
I mean, that's honestly the answer. I mean, I could go further into it, but we might be there for an hour or two.
Yeah, exactly. Aside from that, Joseph, that's all I got.
Cool. For the VIPs, we've got something for you guys too that we're going to be announcing here soon, probably later today. So stay tuned. Look for that in the Facebook group, the VIP Facebook group to be specific. And I think that's it. Join us for today. It's going to be an awesome one. Super excited. We're going to bring the tunes from DJ KJ's Substitute. But who knows? I might even be the better mud. We don't know. But leave you guys with that. Thank you guys for watching, tuning in. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. We would really appreciate it. If you get value from our content, definitely share it. We would absolutely reshare it. We'd appreciate all the follows and the shout outs. We love you guys. We're going to leave you with that. See you later.